Today's video is brought to you by the number 1953, 1 and the letters O, G, and C. This is Car Inclusive, not Sesame Street, and we're doing the 1953 OG Corvette C1. Now before we get started, remember to click like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you'll be reminded of our latest videos. The classic 1953 C1 Corvette. This is probably the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. With its subtle tail fins, rounded nose, thin bumpers, and rally-style mesh over the headlights, the Corvette C1 is an exercise in restraint styling at a time when GM's design studio was in the hands of the legendary Harley Earl. So, we thought of running down 10 reasons why the C1 is in fact an A10. Number 1. The C1 debuted at the General Motors Motorama on January 17, 1953. The first Corvette, now known as C1, made its debut as a concept vehicle at the General Motors Auto Show in New York City. Held at the Waldorf Astoria and featuring dancers, singers, and an orchestra, the 1953 Motorama also marked the debuts of the Buick Wildcat, the Oldsmobile Starfire, and the Cadillac Orleans. Number 2. It's named after a small warship. Though it was originally called the Project Opal, the board expressed interest in a C letter name for the alliterative effect. So Chevrolet PR exec Myron Scott grabbed a dictionary and started flipping through it. When he ran across the word Corvette, which refers to a fast ship that's easy to maneuver, Scott knew he was onto something. And he was right. The name was quickly approved. Number 3. Production was limited to just 300, but they didn't sell. To create demand and an aura of exclusivity, GM first marketed the C1 to VIP customers only. Unfortunately, the plan backfired and they didn't even sell through the first run. Even though availability was opened the following year, the public was still lukewarm on the car and it was nearly discontinued. Number 4. They didn't actually roll off of the assembly line. The first Corvettes had problems starting due to the electrical grounding problems due to the fiberglass body. So instead of rolling off the assembly line, the first Corvettes had to be manually pushed off. Number 5. You could get it in any color as long as you wanted it in white. There's an old saying that you could get the Ford Model T in any color you wanted as long as it was in black. The first Corvette was similar, but any color was polo white, with a sportsman red interior and a black top. Number 6. Of course, it was fast. The car lived up to the fast reputation of its seafaring predecessor. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 11 seconds, which was pretty impressive for 1953. And for the speed demons out there, the first Corvette could max out at 110 miles per hour. Number 7. It came with a few amenities. White wall tires and chrome mesh stone guards made the car look extra sporty, and all 300 production models came with an AM radio and a heater. Number 8. But it also lacked a few amenities. There were no exterior door handles, but that wasn't really a problem because there were also no windows, just plastic curtains. Number 9. Even so, the 53 Corvette was definitely a worthwhile investment. The base price of the 1953 Corvette was $3,498. That's about $31,473.62 today. If you still have a 1953 Corvette in decent shape, it's worth far more than the original sticker price. In 2006, the third one to ever be produced sold for a record $1.06 million. But before we continue with number 10, remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more car features from us. Also, what do you like about the C1? Hit us up in the comments section below. And number 10. The Corvette holds the record for long-time production. Starting with the C1, the Corvette holds the title for the longest-running, continuously produced passenger car. The longest-running vehicle of any type also happens to belong to Chevy. It's the Chevrolet Suburban. After all, a 1 of 300 Corvette C1 is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a regular car. It's not even a vet. It is, in fact, the most irregular of the bunch. It may not make your knees weak like a Ferrari 375 or a Jaguar XK150 of the same vintage would, but the first Vette is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful cars ever made. And that, our friends, is the 1953 Corvette C1, a vintage Vette that can rival any production vehicle today. Tune in next time for more car classics here on Car Inclusive.